All right, where are you wrong today? Let's go.
Okay. College football, there's been a couple of changes, and I think it's made life miserable for college coaches. Number one.
In recruiting?
Now there is no February recruiting day.
Yeah.
They added a second one. I've had 2 coaches tell me, like, dude, you don't get a time off now.
That's true.
It used to be the college lifestyle was way better than the NFL lifestyle.
That's true.
But you did it. You could control your players. The second thing is the transfer portal. Lincoln Riley's going to have his 4th quarterback in 4 years. If you don't take care of dad and the quarterback doesn't feel like he's the man, they just leave. This has made the college football this is why, by the way, Michigan's basketball coach is like, I'm going to try the NBA. I think the college jobs, unless you have ultimate power like a Saban, it's not as much fun as it was. And Jerry Jones has a history of going into the college ranks. It's the only way he's won Super Bowls. I think he knows he's going to hire Lincoln Riley. He's certainly not going to let anybody else in the NFC have Lincoln Riley. Jerry once said on the air, the biggest mistakes I've made has gone conservative. When I go for it, I never feel like...
All right, but this is just from Jerry's point of view.
Well, Jason Garrett, if they don't make the playoffs, he's out.
Okay.
He's gonna offer
fine.
Lincoln Riley $15 million a year.
And he might. Yeah. I mean, you never know. And Lincoln will have a choice to make. I think that there is a case to be made of why you would stay in college, even with all the things. And listen, you're not wrong, okay? The recruiting calendar is much more tedious on the head coach now. And because of that calendar, it's actually a lot harder to take care of your current players, which make them disgruntled, which leads to the transfer portal. So they actually are one and the same, right? Yeah. They're all tied together. So yes, that's correct. However, some guys are just better in college than they are in the NFL. And I would suggest that the exception to the rule is what Jerry has done with college coaches. And I don't really count Barry Switzer because he came into a team that was likely going to win the Super Bowl anyways.
Pete Carroll.
But Pete and Jimmy.
And Jim Harbaugh and Tom Coughlin. They were better NFL coaches.
Jim didn't win a Super Bowl.
Well, but he got to one. That's pretty darn good. He's better at San Francisco. He has been at Michigan.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's improved by like 4 games a year in terms of a winning margin over the 6 or 7 previous seasons to when he was there. I would just say this, that there are a lot more guys that you're not mentioning. Lou Holtz was the Jets head coach in the 70s. That didn't work out. Butch Davis didn't work out. Nick Saban didn't work out. Steve Spurrier didn't work out. Chip Kelly didn't work out. Mike Riley didn't work out. Dennis Erickson didn't work out. I mean, you bring up a couple. Pete had an NFL background before he went to Seattle. All right, he was more of an NFL coach at USC than he was a college coach now in Seattle. I think you would agree with that, right?
That's a fair point, yeah.
Okay, so Jimmy Johnson is really the only one.
Well, Tom Coughlin had great success in the NFL.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you Tom Coughlin. I think that was in an era before what it is now.
Don't you think it's easier for a college coach to go to the pros now?
I don't know. And I think that there's a lot of other things, too. Okay, so his contract, he just signed an extension. It's about $32.5 million right now. It goes through 2023. If he left right now, it'd be $4.6 million of buyout. That's a lot. Now, the contract states, actually, that it's 22.5% of whatever is remaining on his contract. There is a good chance that he gets another extension at the end of this year. If that goes north of 50, which it probably will in terms of total contract value, that means that the 22.5% that's already the precedent for him as his buyout, he'd be in the north of $21 million. You know, I mean, like
Dallas Cowboy head coach.
I understand that, but think about it now. He's got total control of Oklahoma. He's got the ability to raise his family. He's got 2 young daughters and his wife in Norman. Well, I think that plays a huge. That's why David Shaw hasn't left.
Well, they don't have nice houses in Dallas.
He can get a nice house in Dallas, but you've also got this point, and the reason I bring up the $21 million is because he's likely going to continue to get extensions to the point where he's going to make somewhere in the $100 million range over 10 years
in the Big 12. Or make same money in the NFL.
He's also not accomplished everything that he wants to accomplish at Oklahoma.
Got a transfer portal in the NFL? Got to have to recruit in the NFL and deal with goofy boosters and NCAA?
I tell you what. You go beat Chip Kelly, and it doesn't work out, which the percentages suggest, Lincoln, and I'm going to talk to you and get the bonehead out of here. I'm going to talk to you right now. Lincoln, let's say it doesn't work out, okay? You go and you, roll the dice and it doesn't work out. What job are you going to go back and get?
At $100 million, who cares?
Who cares, because it's so easy to bring UCLA back. as we're proving right now.
Hey, Lincoln,
what job are you going to go get?
Hey,
you're in a blue blood job right now.
Okay,
you're in a blue blood job right now. You don't have to leave anywhere. Nick Saban is the model. Bob Stoops was the model. You can stay there. You can make more money than God, and you're just fine.
Okay, now let's get camera guys. Put it on me, and let me talk to Lincoln Riley.
Oh, like the other 3 hours.
Yeah, you want to stay at a Days Inn in El Paso another 38 times in your life? Or you want to go to Ritz-Carlton with Jerry Jones? Have martinis on Saturday night? Hey, Lincoln. What sounds better, Lincoln Riley?
Hey, swing the camera over here.
No,
okay, now you're
camera's
in the draft
broken.
room. Now you're in the draft room, and now all of a sudden you're like, hey, I really like this player. Now you got to deal with Steven and Jerry, and all these yahoos are saying, no, we don't want that guy.
Okay,
and you're like, what?
Put the camera over here.
I lost all my autonomy.
Okay.
Now I'm no longer in control of my own program.
And
Good luck with that.
All right, camera over here.
I'm the president of Oklahoma. Academics are so important. This player, we're not going to let him in because my
Swing it back. Swing it back. Swing it back. I'm the president of Oklahoma now, and guess what I just gave you? Another $32.5 million in extension. By the way, you've got 35 hours of private plane usage. You can play at any one of our 3 golf clubs whenever you want. So I'll take care of you, Lincoln. And guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to ask you to draft a player that you don't want to draft.
Yeah, whatever. All right, let's move to this.
Gosh.
Okay.
Joy, it feels good when I
feel like I should have jumped in there like, swing it over here.
Yeah, Joy, what was your... Joy,
hey,
I would
Lincoln,
like your take.
Do whatever's best for you.
Yeah.
Dallas, 4 seasons, lived next to Jerry, Cowboy coach.
I agree with that.
All right, so here's the other thing. I'm hearing all this.
Caitlin and his wife. Caitlin, keep him in, Norman.
Here's what's funny. So there's only
She's
one.
the boss.
There's only one team that can beat Alabama this year. LSU.
Why? Why only one?
LSU gives up too many cheap touchdowns. Georgia can't throw it over the top.
You think Alabama doesn't give up cheap touchdowns this year? They've got all those true freshmen starting on defense. I think that they're likely to get into a shootout. This is not Alabama of a couple of years ago. This is a team that's having to win one way. They don't run it like they used to. They don't play defense like they used to, namely because of injuries and a lot of young players playing. But they're leaning on Tua. This is more Oklahoma of last year than it is Alabama of last year.
Do you know Fox Bet says if LSU and Bama played, Bama's favored by almost 11 points?
Well, Fox Bet is new. They're working through their kinks. I just don't think that that's a very good line whatsoever. I think LSU has a great chance in that game.
LSU was in trouble against Florida at home.
Yeah, and Florida's a pretty good football team.
Pretty good. Not Alabama. They're pretty good.
Alabama's great. Alabama is great. I still think they're going to win the SEC, but to think that they're just going to waltz through like they have in the last couple of years, I think is troublesome.
Okay, so you watch this. So Klatt has his top 10, and this cracks me up.
Why does this crack you up?
Okay, so
put it up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have Clemson 7th. Folks, let me tell you what Clemson is. You know what Clemson is?
Florida State of 14?
No. They're Pete Carroll's USC Trojans.
Why is that?
Because Clemson wins last year. Clemson's in a bad conference. When Pete was in the Pac-12, it was garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Okay, the ACC now is garbage.
Yeah.
Miami's garbage. Florida State's garbage. Virginia Tech's not what it was with the great coach.
Only one ranked team. That's Clemson.
Okay.
By the way, so American has more ranked teams.
So Clemson now with Trevor Lawrence and Dabo in a bad conference.
Okay.
They are bored out of their mind.
Maybe.
Pete's teams in the Pac-12 won a title. They came out the following year. They couldn't get up for anybody in the conference. Clemson is just sitting back here,
maybe
waiting for Alabama,
maybe.
And they're going to crush them again.
Listen, it might be, and they might win a national championship, and they might go 15-0.
They're bored out of their mind.
Lord knows they're not going to get tested in the ACC. I think that
who would the championship game be against today?
Maybe. Oh gosh.
I mean
every team in the Coastal has 2 losses.
Yes.
One of them in the ACC. So it's a total crapshoot. By the way, whoever wins it, it's likely to be the 7th different winner in the last 7 years on that side. I mean,
I think Clemson's. I think we're falling for this. Is that?
Yeah, but hold on. Have they been impressive at all?
Well, again, they're sleepwalking through the schedule.
So do you want me to rate them higher just because of your theory? Or
No.
do you want me to rate teams based on what I've seen on the field?
Well, no, but I think everything has to be considered. Years ago, Florida won a national basketball
Why should I
title.
consider their national championship from a year ago?
Why
not just evaluate teams for what they are in this season?
Well, time out. Don't we have a preseason poll? It's totally based on last year.
Why would I care about a preseason poll whatsoever? We've already seen that those have proven to be totally wrong. Wisconsin and Penn State weren't thought of to be very much at all, and now here they are clearly in the top 10 right now. I think Clemson's a really good football team. They have not played to their potential. If you put any other emblem out there outside of Clemson or Alabama, and you said, here's this team, and they have come out and they've played far below expectations and have just a 1-point win over a middling team with a first-year head coach. Let's say it's Ohio State. Let's say Ohio State this year would have come out, played below expectations, and had a 1-point win against Indiana. You'd be crushing them, and rightly so. And rightly so. So, Clemson comes out, plays below expectations. They might go undefeated. They're probably going to go to the playoff because of their conference. But to put them or evaluate them outside of what they have actually done, I think is troublesome.
By the way,
to say
ask
the
Nick
least.
Saban today who he's afraid of. He doesn't want to face Lincoln Riley, and he doesn't want to face Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe. But this
Ed
is what's so
Orgeron?
great about this season is that it's not just two teams that are clearly better than everybody else. I think that we've got 7 teams that are clearly national championship contenders, in particular after we saw OU's defense last week actually stand up and play great defense against Texas.
You have Oklahoma this week. West Virginia's at Oklahoma. By the way, Oklahoma may very well come down after these massive rivalry games. It's very common. Oklahoma may come back down a little bit.
Maybe.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.